I was born in the Eastern Cape. It is a very beautiful part of our land. It is rich in vegetation and folklore. As a small child, I stood on the outer edges of the evening campfire on more nights than I can remember. I listened many times to the stories of the tribal leaders. There would be long silences in between. They spoke of our ancestors, of our land of plenty, of fat cattle, and of grain in abundance. They also spoke of hardship and drought, of wars and of poverty. As I listened to them, images of color were conjured up in my mind. As I looked up into the clear, crisp night sky, I saw millions of stars. I wondered how they shone. I did not know that the largest of them all was simply reflecting the light of the closest star. As the moon moved across the dark sky, it changed color from silver to a bright red as it reached the horizon. It was a beautiful sight. As a young shepherd, I looked after cattle and sheep. There was time to reflect and to enjoy color. I watched in wonder at the sight of the rainbow. I understood little of how a tiny raindrop could reflect such a beautiful range of colors. I experienced the very rich colors of nature through the 4 seasons. I traveled through the rich countryside of the Eastern Cape, between different villages and towns, and enjoyed the rich tapestry of color that is so special in that area of South Africa. I return to it whenever I can. Sadly, it is not as often as I would like to return. I am not being allowed to retire because they say I've been loafing for 27 years. Some of you may remember that I left the countryside to retain my bachelorhood. The experience of my young adulthood in the big city was very different. Color was no longer the natural color of the countryside. The color of the city was robust, vibrant, and explosive. It was very different to that color that I experienced in the gentle countryside. I loved this new experience. Then came the wasted prisoners. A great hood descended over my eyes. Gray became the primary and paramount color. The paint on the interior walls and the gates and the cell doors was gray. The outside walls had gray slate. The watchtowers were gray. Even the roads which we built with a mixture of lime and crushed seashells were gray in color. White appeared as a relief. The prison clothing was a dull khaki Even the prison guards wore khaki. Even table mounting, a symbol of freedom for us, was gray in the distance. Exposure to other colors was limited and very brief. For a little while, at Pollsmoor Prison, I was allowed to grow vegetables as I did in Robben Island. When tomatoes turned red from their early green, it became a special color in a gray environment. It was the same rich experience when I saw my first banana in 20 years. It was yellow in color. 27 long years it took, with an occasional glimpse of the vibrancy of color which enriches the lives of all normal-sighted persons. It makes it especially poignant for those who have limited vision or no vision at all. Then came freedom and the lifting of the dark hood from my eyes. It was not merely the miracle of freedom, but it was the miracle which I experienced of a person who had regained the power of sight. I could not get enough of looking at, feeling, touching, and experiencing this new recovery of the experience of culture. When it came to recreating visions of Robben Island, I needed to share this rich experience of culture, which to me has a very special meaning. When I initially did the sketches in black chalk, the images looked quite bleak. I then thought that it should be a celebration and introduce the bright and cheery colors, which I understand has become a new art form. And I hope that it will give you as much pleasure as I have had in creating these images. And with these words, I want to greet you and to say, please enjoy yourself. If I don't take anything this evening, you must remember the old saying, enjoy breakfast all alone. Share lunch with your best friend. Give dinner to your enemy. Thank you.